Today I prepared for you a really special episode for you because we're gonna talk about when can you expect to be back to normal, back to 100%. And this is probably the most common question that I get on a regular basis. So yes, today I'm gonna answer this. So I got a question from Chris, and Chris writes, I fractured my tibia and fibula in January 30th. I got surgery February 7th and I got 2 screws. I got surgery again April 20th to remove the screws. I got told by the doctor I can start walking and get rid of the crutches, and I have, but I still can't bend the ankle. I can walk but with a limp, and I'm supposed to get therapy, but it's not till next week. I want to start doing some stretches. What do you recommend to expedite the process? How long do you think it will take me to be at 100% range of motion of the ankle? Chris, like I said, great question, and you're not alone in this. There are so many people sending me similar questions all the time. They just want to know when everything will be back to normal, when they will be able to go back to running, jogging, different kind of activities, or just walk without the limp, and when everything will be over and like nothing ever happened to them. And I completely understand this because I never ever met anyone who would be excited about their injuries. That would be probably really weird because if you're really excited to be injured, then maybe, I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about. There are not a lot of people who would be ecstatic because they injured themselves because they broke their ankles. So I completely understand. And before I tell you my answer, I have to tell that I already talked about these things. So I was already talking about what you can do to speed up the recovery process, what kind of exercises you can do, and I also, if you don't know about my online training, 5 crucial things for successful ankle recovery, go to ironbuildflexibleankles.com and get the access now, because there I'm talking about all of this, and this is one thing how you can learn more about this. And the other thing, so why I decided to talk about this today, so how to get back to normal, to 100%. And I wish I would have the answer to this, but I don't. And stop, before you press escape, stop listening to me, stop this video, just listen to me, because at the end of this video, maybe you'll start thinking about this process differently. I can give you some general information about the bones and muscles and tendons and what you can expect, but that doesn't tell you anything about you, about your body, about your unique experience, about your mind, your subconscious mind, about your diet. Some general information is okay, but that doesn't tell you anything. And when we are talking about injury recovery, and especially when we are talking about successful injury recovery, there are so many things we have to take into consideration, and I'm talking about 3 major pillars all the time, and this is my unique approach and what I created throughout these years. And this is three pillars that I'm talking about constantly: is mind, mindset, thoughts, emotions, everything that is happening on the inside, mind-body connection. Then we have diet. If you don't eat foods that love you back, then of course you cannot expect the best recovery. And then of course you also have to do some exercises. And a lot of the times people just talk about this. So what kind of exercises can I be doing to get the range of motion back? But that's not the only thing. And the recovery process, like I describe it, is like a 3-leg chair. So if you want to sit on a 3-leg chair, all 3 legs have to be strong, because take 1 leg out and you cannot sit on it anymore. So it's important to take into consideration all of this, and that's the reason why I cannot tell you when you'll be back to normal, because there are so many things we have to talk about. And when I'm working with my clients, we are doing changes in all 3 departments, because this is the only way how you can have a really successful recovery. And there's one more thing I want to talk to you about. And this is the reason why you will never ever get this kind of answer from me. So I will never ever say to you, well, just wait for 3 months and you'll be back to normal, or wait for 12 months and you'll be back to normal. Because what is happening on the inside has a big impact on the recovery process. So our mind, subconscious mind, emotions, thoughts, mind-body connection is really, really strong. So, I hear a lot of stories from people on a regular basis, and in my opinion, these are really sad stories, because whatever people hear from their doctors and physiotherapists, a lot of the times they take this as their truth. And when we take something as our truth, then of course, nothing else can actually happen or change in our lives. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm gonna tell you a short story. And I know I'm telling you stories all the time, but I really think that we are learning through stories and through other people's experience. So that's the reason why I'm telling you all of this and sharing my experience and what was happening with me, because I really think that this can help you with your recovery journey. So there was a guy, and he was in his 20s, and that happened 2 years, maybe a bit more than 2 years, 2.5 years ago. He contacted me when he found me on Instagram. My Instagram account, my.novak, that I created it just to share my experience and give some tips so that I can inspire others and help others. So when he found me, he was a bit confused, because what he heard from his doctor is that his ankle would get as good as it gets in the first 12 months, not weeks, months, in the first year, and after that basically nothing else would happen. So he was a bit confused, because I was way over that line, that 1 year mark, and I was still talking about how my ankle is still changing. So he was a bit confused, and he just wanted to know how come, because he heard from his doctor that nothing actually can happen after 12 months, and I'm here way beyond that, and I'm still talking about this. And the reason why this is so important is that what we hear from others, we can take that as the truth, as our truth, or we can just dispel it and say, well, no, that's not the truth, and I don't want to believe that. And a lot of the times, that was my story. So a lot of the times, whatever I heard from the doctors and physiotherapists, I was like, no thanks, I'm not gonna believe that. And I was just, going straight through the wall. I was like, no, this is gonna happen, and I will see some great changes. So the thing is that a lot of the times people, whatever they hear from their doctors and physiotherapists, this is medical stuff, so they're ranking way high, they take that as their truth. And when we believe into something, it's kind of impossible to change anything in our bodies. So that's the reason why you will never ever get this kind of answer from me. I will never ever tell you that you're gonna get back to normal in 3 months period, let's say. Because what if your body would get back to normal in 4 months, but I told you that this would happen in 3 months? So after 3 months, what would you do? The majority of people, what would they do is that they would give up, and they was like, no, this didn't happen, so I guess nothing can actually happen. But in that 1 month, there could be a big change and breakthrough. That's the reason why you will never ever get this kind of answer from me. And I want to read a comment to you, and I read it a few days ago, and this is exactly about this, how people take something as their truth because they heard something from their doctors or physiotherapists. And I'm not saying that they're bad, doctors and physiotherapists, we really need them, and they're essential in the recovery process, but they don't know everything. So here is a lady, and she writes, so The conversation was about high impact activities, and there was a lady who was asking about what kind of experience people have. So here's a lady, and she broke his ankle 17 years ago. So what she wrote is: never went back to running or high impact exercises. My doctor wanted me to not do those types of things. My PT mentioned that they could do therapy till the cows come home, but it wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. It has been almost 17 years for me, 17 years in August. I can't run, pivot, jump, anything like that. Low impact exercises like swimming is probably the only thing that I can do. So this story, this comment for me is a really sad one, because you know what would happen to this lady if she wouldn't hear what she heard from her doctor, from her physiotherapist 17 years ago. I think her life could be completely different, and that's the reason why I really think it can be dangerous if you listen to your doctor, to your physiotherapist all the time, and you take as your truth everything that they tell you. I mean, you know, they have some great knowledge, and without them I wouldn't be here, but you know, they don't know everything. And I know there are doctors and physiotherapists who are aware of this, but not a lot of them are aware of mind-body connection. And you know, whatever is happening on the inside, what kind of foods we eat, what kind of thoughts we have, what is happening on the subconscious mind, you know, this is as important as the exercises. Like I said, recovery, successful recovery is like a 3-leg chair. Take one leg out and you cannot sit on it anymore. That's the reason, you know, why you're not gonna hear from me this kind of stuff, why you're not gonna get this kind of answer from me. So, you know, it's on you to decide. So it's on you to decide whether you want to have a successful recovery or not. And I bet you are there that you want to have successful recovery. And then you have to do everything that you can do for this successful recovery to happen. So, you know, if you don't have all the tools, if you don't know how to connect all the dots, ask for help. That's the reason why I'm here. That's the reason why other experts are here. If you don't know how to do this, ask for help. And you know, a really sad thing is that the majority of people don't ask for help. Like 95% of people that are listening to this, that are watching this video, are not gonna ask for help because they are sure that they can do things on their own. And you know, maybe they can. But a lot of the times I'm getting emails from people and they're writing, I wish I would know this a year ago. And you know, I don't want this for you to be, that you have this kind of experience. So if you don't have all the tools, if you don't know how to connect all the dots, then ask for help. That's the reason why I'm here. That's the reason why other experts are here. Ask for help, because this can really change your life. And you know, if you'd like to work with me, then go to my site, go to mynovak.com. You'll get all the details there. Contact me, and I know we can make some great magic together. So that was for today. I hope it helps, and if you think that this would help anyone else, please share it, and I'll see you next time. Love ya!